call this thing to order. First order of business. Let's, anybody that wants to is signed in. Public comments, welcome of guests and public comments. So anybody wants to say anything, now's your time. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning, Robert.
You know, I sort of have a problem on your, I know that in public comment, there's no action required, and that's what you put on your minutes.
Right.
But, you know, when you're trying to backtrack, I think 10 years ago I made the comment, I was trying to see what was said, and you can't hear anything on your videos. I don't know if you've ever tried to listen, but you can't.
No, I haven't.
Well, I had brought that up 10 years ago. And when you're trying to backtrack on something, it's pretty hard to do. And if maybe I've got a county commissioner who's politicking for something that's on the agenda, I'd like to know if they spoke about something. And you know, the only person, Danny isn't here, so I can sort of throw Hudspeth County under the bus. Dr. Blair's been down there, but you know, when you speak in public comment down there, they make a note of it and what you talked about. And probably 95% of what a person would say in public comment is negative. But, you know, that just goes with the, here we go.
Right.
And,
Right.
but you know, I don't see why when, you know, when somebody speaks, they couldn't note that they spoke and, you know, 5 or 6 descriptive of what they commented on. I don't think that's asking for too
Let's
much.
take that under consideration. Maybe something like that could be done.
Thank you.
And as far as sound quality, I haven't ever listened to one of those past meetings.
Well, that's why we put in, if they come up to the
Mike,
microphone.
it'll be clear. Okay. All right, anybody else? Want to say anything? Nope. Okay. All right, next order of business. Better put on my glasses so I can see. We got a lot of minutes to go over, so let's go ahead and go to the tab 3. And let's start with the first one, which says April 9th.
Second.
All right, motion has been made by Mike, seconded by Jarrett to approve those particular minutes on April 9th. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign. Okay, motion passed. Let's go to the 16th. I believe that's when, was this when y'all were up at,
No, we had
No,
to
this was
set the
a-
allotment.
well, we had to set the allotment a week later. That's right. Okay, pretty simple.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, Mike made a motion to approve, Jarrett's seconded, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, same sign. Okay, third order of minutes, this was the one where covers the night of the,
Almost,
yeah, the reception, okay?
no, the night before.
The night before,
Right.
Yeah, before.
Yeah, it
the
was the
combat.
night before, and then we.
But it was the reception.
Closed it after the.
Yeah, because that
Okay.
one was done.
Right.
That's right, Larry called it to order, and then, anybody see any problem with that one? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move to accept.
Second.
Okay, George made the motion, Jared seconded, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye, and then the next day, to make sure we're all covered, Larry called the meeting to order, and then, this is during the commission, the actual commission, meeting. the real meeting. Anybody wanna make that motion?
Make the motion approved.
All right, Jared made the motion, Mike second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign. Okay, very good. Next, let's see. Mary, you're up.
Welcome back.
Yeah,
Thank you.
glad to see you back.
I'm glad I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm feeling much better.
We're all glad.
Our first report is our monthly investment. On our money market account, from prior month, we were down to 4.27% from 4.29%.
Okay. That's not much of a drop.
That's not much of a drop.
I noticed they're all starting to creep up again a little bit.
Yes, they are. As of today, a 6-month treasury bill's at 4.27. The monthly rate is at 4.37.
I'll be darned.
Our 1-year rate is at
Have you
4.17.
checked on the T-bills?
Yes, these are the treasury bills.
Treasury bills?
Correct.
Any reason why it's 1.25, no reason that it can't get up to +4?
These are our general accounts. You're looking at the general checking account.
Yeah.
Only our money market account is when our representative from Westar can actually meet the rate of the monthly treasury bill rate.
I think it matches, that's good. Good to know. Okay. So, money's still looking okay, pretty much. Well, I'm sorry, Mary, are we on the balance sheet now?
Yes.
Okay. Gentlemen, y'all see anything?
Our accounts receivable, account number 11600, we have a $103,000 balance. We did receive for this month the quarterly drain maintenance, which is about $85,000.
Ah, okay. So that was one of my questions on the next where we are. Okay. Now, are we, yeah. Okay, how about we go to our net revenue? And, shoot, and I was gonna ask you, so is that not reflected on the drain maintenance yet? It would be line 4252?
Yes, it's reflected on.
It is reflected?
Yes.
Okay. Very good. And they still owe us that much. Quarterly, 3 more quarters, right?
And we have 3 more quarters.
3 more
But this also includes a $200,000 capital improvement that's part of the drain maintenance as well.
Okay. Okay.
Just a quick question. If capital improvement projects or any of these projects, which are tied to grants? Is there a ratio or how many of your surplus that we have this month are gonna be attributed to grants?
Account number 40400, special capital projects, is the one that is tied to our grants. Any funds that we are expecting to receive as part of the match.
404?
4,400.
Third from the bottom.
Third from the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Income side. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And we have received payment on our TWDB grant.
Yes, the Franklin Feeder Canal, we received the 93%. And they had, even the project was finished, they still wanted to have a retainer. So we just got authorization on Monday that the retainer has been released, so we should be receiving the remainder, 7% next week or two.
Good job.
Yeah, we finally got reimbursed, so.
Good.
On the third party implementing, we've received 1.7.
That is our fourth quarter payment that we received. I'm working with Al to send out the next quarter, 2 quarterly payments for this year.
Are we still looking at our budget of 4.5?
There is going to be a reduction on
Yeah.
that.
There'll have to be a reduction. Okay. All right, this is based on the water we given. Okay. So we have to review that in the budget at some point.
Yes, there will be an amendment that will be brought to you the following month.
Okay.
And we are at 64% on our net revenue.
Okay. We're all right. Is it November, right? We start in November, December?
Yes, our October is our end of our fiscal year. We have 6 months.
6 more months, we're halfway through. Okay. All right, we can also pray for water in the dam. Some rain somewhere. All right. Any other questions of Mary on the balance sheet or anything? If not, check report?
Check report, correct.
Check report.
Number 14, I just out of curiosity, what's hydraulics in that?
It's the,
That's grout.
What's that?
It's grout.
Grout?
Grout, yes.
That's another name for grout?
That's,
Okay.
mechanical grout for heavy equipment, for like pedestals for gates and stuff.
It's a high strength ground.
Yeah.
And then I just had a question.
Seems like you'd have a different term.
Yeah.
Cement.
No, that's good.
I think, I don't know why it's called hydraulic PT now. I think it has to do that it gets stronger the more water, that if it's underwater, it actually gets stronger.
Yes.
So it's one where you use the machinery, like for loaders and things like
That
that.
fixes learning something. Line 17, 18, 19, you went to Four Rivers for basic John Deere equipment. Are they beating the heck out of South Plains right now, or?
No, well, it was for different items. It was for oil, filters, and usually we'll try to go through truck pros and we'll look around to see where we get the best price. And then they come out with the best price for, that's what we'll go.
On certain backhoe truck,
Yeah.
the only place you can find it is at Wright.
Right. And then also keep in mind that we do have a couple of backhoes that are still in the warranty.
Oh, because.
So we
of that.
still need to keep their filters.
Those 14
Okay.
backhoes, you won't be there.
Okay. All right. Makes
I
sense.
found out the hard way.
Did you?
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
Four Rivers does the yellow John Deere's and South Plains does the green ones.
Green,
Pretty much.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
yeah, a few items.
Yeah, they overlap because the parts are the same.
Yeah.
And they won't sell them to the John Deere?
Hmm?
They won't sell you the products at John Deere?
They used to, but they don't anymore, they don't. Okay.
On the fuel, 38 through 50, I guess. Is there, how does this, do they go into competition or like, at what point do we just use it? It's every 3 months, once a year? Do we go off a bid for the best price, or is it just the best price? Or how do we evaluate who's gonna provide us with oil or gas or fuel?
Prices change every week.
They
Yeah.
change
They
daily.
change daily, actually.
Daily.
I think they call.
But, yes, we do check, this is the best price because, this is delivered to our facilities. So that's always taken into consideration, the transport. As I mentioned earlier, we're previously, we're going to bring a proposal, for the, storage tanks here at our,
Okay.
so we can be able to give us the opportunity to purchase directly on the transports itself. The first 38 through 48 is a trailer that we've got, so we take this trailer to, the wells. Obviously, we're getting the wells cranked up for the season, but we do shop around for the best rate, obviously. This is for red diesel, so, Fabens has been, the cheapest, Richard.
I mean, nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's
Yeah.
I'm just saying, that over time, you get complacency and so forth. And I know the price goes up and down, but the part I'm looking for is the magic fee that's on top. Whatever that is, should be compared to the competition, and I'm assuming that would be the lowest.
And this is the closest one to our yard, obviously that's
Okay,
directly
so
related
there's-
to
there's
the
logistics.
charge. So we get someone from, in town to come deliver, it typically comes out higher, so.
I mentioned to Ingles about that, about having the tanks, and he said he'd be very competitive on the transport prices. And another thing he mentioned, he says Monday is the day to purchase it.
the thing. Yes.
Monday is a lot cheaper.
Yeah, and Jared mentioned he's got on his farm big tanks, so I've got a great big old tank on mine, and years ago I used to get transports in. This was back when Charlie was around, and I asked Charlie, and he said, we'll match that, and we'll deliver it free.
Every day.
And the smaller trucks, but I purchased that same volume, and I purchased that, and it come 3 times up, or fill me up, for the same price as the big
As a
transport guy.
transport.
So,
Yes, so,
they've been very accommodating, and the next generation is working on it, so
I'm glad to hear it, man. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
no, they take care of us, I mean, you know, we've got a 4,000 gallon tank, and as you can see, we go through it pretty quick,
Pretty quick.
So obviously.
Well, that's why we need
they
the bigger one.
Come through times, yes, exactly,
Yeah.
so that's the plan moving forward, but, yeah, one project at a time, for the house projects here, so.
When you go those project, try and look at the 10,000 gallons,
Yes.
go bigger. That way you don't have to wait till it's completely
Yeah.
empty.
They call mine at 11,000 or something.
You looked
Great
into
big
those
old
tanks?
10,000.
Yes, I've got some proposals, I've reached out to another vendor, and then I was gonna talk to Jared, so we'll get three price quotes. But yeah, the tanker's 7,500 gallons, 7,500, so obviously we need a little bit larger, so we're not having to drain it every time.
Well, TCEQ used to even have me register mine years ago,
We need to.
and now you don't have to on the farm.
Okay, no, we do here, there's an annual fee, but.
You have to pay an annual fee,
And the insurance.
they did away with that on farmers for some reason.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I used to do that. Well, look, our tank's been there since probably 1970 or something like that, and it used to not be, and then the TCEQ made me register it every year, and they come out and inspect it and give you a sticker. But you pay something for that.
Yes, it's an
But they
annual.
took that away about 2 years ago.
Well, we still do it, right here, Mary? We have a annual fee for the tank, from the TCQ for
No,
or Lisa. Oh, it's the insurance, sorry.
The
I'm
insurance,
thinking about the
yes,
insurance.
that's insurance.
The insurance we, for the
Yeah.
tank. That's-
They probably just look at it once when you set it up or something. Lines 27, 28, no warranty, I take it, because they'll see my pretty heavy price on repair, although I've got a truck right now being repaired, and it was something or other with my thermostat manifold on it. It used to be very simple, and it's nothing simple anymore when you take in car repair. Does that mean no warranty on any of that stuff?
No, on the number 27, I believe it is, the ignition switch, there was actually additional work that had to be done to it. It had to be reprogrammed. This is one of the 2019 supervisor trucks.
Okay.
So there was a lot of other work that went into it, other than just replacing the ignition switch.
Okay.
And then on the number 28, that was actually a crankcase, seal kit, fuel injectors, valve cover gaskets, valve covers. So it's multiple items that were.
No
that were done
warranty
to it.
either?
No, sir.
Okay. All right.
How old is the truck?
2019.
Both of them, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes.
Probably mileage more than a year.
Then on 63, we got these 3 pickups delivered finally.
Yeah.
Yes, the Trider trucks.
And the trailer trucks. Do we still got any pending that haven't been delivered, Pete?
Yeah.
That was the last of them?
Yes, that was the last.
Okay. COVID's over.
All right.
These were some from still the
Yeah.
23, I think it was, that were on back orders. So this terminates all 8 that we had purchased.
We have purchased.
You got your repairman truck?
We're missing 2.
Yeah, you're missing.
We are missing 3 of the repairman trucks that haven't come in. They probably should be in here by, hoping July.
July.
Yes.
Those, we just ordered those, beginning of this year, or late last year, no?
Yeah, well, they were actually ordered almost at the same time. No más que we're looking at 3500s versus the standard 3/4 tons that Enrique ordered. These will come with flatbeds, which is our repairman trucks. We'll put welders on them and we'll transfer everything over, so they're more detailed.
That's these 3?
No, the 3 that are missing.
The
Three that are missing.
We need a truck.
And Pete, when you do that, when you put the flatbed and stuff on, do you get all that stuff from Rudolph, or you have to send it off to?
No, they'll go through, well, like the beds will be coming through NAPI, and they'll be installed by, they usually have the contract with
Alamo.
Alamo, yes.
I'll send you a number, where I get all my trucks there in Hanner in Abilene, Baird, they'll deliver to you, they have a full service truck accessory store at the dealership, so
Right.
when I order my truck, it shows up how you see it on the cover, you don't have to get it, ship it off, wait a week, or whatever, just put
And when we get the trucks, they'll be fully equipped.
Yeah.
But it does have to go from the dealer to where it's installed. And when I buy them over from Catawba, they're out of Houston, it's the same thing. They get their bids from CNN Bids, and it's the same thing. They ship them from there to CNN Bids, then they install them, then they ship them to us.
All right. Next line, 64, Irrigation Council, this is our yearly,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
It's a yearly deal, right?
It's a yearly deal, that's our, kind of like a dues, or they call it assessment dues. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Anybody? Go ahead, Ray.
Following report is our credit card report. Part of those professional development included the compact meeting.
Okay. Good.
We have now our legal and consulting report.
Well, still ongoing, but we have, we're hopeful that those will go back down in a few months.
Yeah.
Right, Renee? Right, Maria? In a few months?
Got quiet.
Okay. Yep. But we're saying September?
Roughly.
Okay, roughly. Okay, gotcha. All right, we're talking, see what,
Roughly in 2 census.
yeah, there you go. All right.
No.
We have a, under the engineering computer services, I noticed this, I like that December rate, $720. Maybe finally, we're going up a little bit on the,
We bought a server,
is that what's going on?
we bought a new
You buy some
server.
equipment?
Yes, a couple of laptops, so, yes, the
Okay.
server needed upgrading. So there's a few items of hardware that we.
Okay, very good.
And then following is the approval of our quarterly investment report.
Didn't we do that last month?
Yes.
No, we did.
Yes, we did it for
We
you.
took care of it.
We
You
did
know
it
you
for you,
weren't-
yes.
We had so much, you had signed off on it, we went ahead and
Okay.
approved that. Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Good to see you again. Good to see you.
Thanks, Barry.
All right, Rose. Good to see you too, Rose.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We do have few tax adjustments.
Okay.
So these are 6 parcels that have tax suits and were scheduled to be sold at tax sale. There were no bids, and the term is called struck off. So when there's no bid, the properties are transferred to tax entities as trustees. Therefore, the property becomes tax exempt. And these are the adjustments that you have here. So the total, we're looking at $120.21.
Anybody have any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve of the adjustments on the tax roll. Okay? Anybody? All right, Larry made the motion that we approve these tax roll adjustments. And George second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Anyone opposed, same sign. See how easy that was?
Thank you.
Okay.
Our next report is an update on the El Paso Water Utilities, known as El Paso Water, or Valley Water District, and taxes.
Okey-doke, all I can say is it looks like Road Valley's back to their old ways there. Okay, but I'm not saying anymore.
And it's reports a comparison between the 2023 and 2024 tax assessment. Last year at the same time, we're at 95.8217%. Presently, we're at 95.5377. So we're
Oh.
falling a bit.
Just a little less water, I think, is what that,
And there's a full allotment, seems to get better.
yeah, when there's full allotment, everybody's right up to speed. All right,
And that's all I have.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Doing great work, thank you.
Thanks, Rose.
Jay, you wanna discuss anything, your stuff you got here on the general manager's report?
So, we received a cost agreement, and we had not received one of these from the Rio Grande Council of Governments.
Yeah, I saw that.
For participation in the Far West Texas Water Planning Group. Typically, it's a $2,500
A year.
annual fee, but then they sent over a contract, and so we need a board authorization, so I put it on the agenda for y'all to review, and so we just need to get that returned. This is supposed to be annually, so, but I guess they had not sent it previously,
Yeah, they're in arrears a little bit, it looks like they basically were paying for April.
This for 25, 26, so,
No, from October 24. Yeah, but I noticed there was 2 years in there. But I was gonna ask you, that's the same price we've been paying, isn't it, to be a
Yes.
member of that group?
yes, it is.
Yeah, so that's not an increase or anything. Yeah, it was, well, you know, they had to give their lawyers something too.
So it's, the title on top is 1 year, and then in the whereas, it's got 2 years, so, we'll get that squared away, but,
But other than that, yeah, I saw that.
so,
It looks pretty innocuous, I mean, pretty standard to me.
yes.
So,
It's a little bit complicated, it's really a 1-year contract, so, well, various, they
They missed last year, something.
didn't get the paperwork done in time.
It's really,
Yeah.
since 23.
And we're in it, we're already halfway through their current year.
Yeah.
Okay,
What do we
What
get?
what is number 4, is that $6,900? Is that the overall cost?
Yeah, that's, we share that with a bunch of other
It's a
areas.
portion of it, okay.
The water planning group, yes, and in order to apply for grants, the Water Development Board, that'd be part of this.
yeah, it's so the Texas Water Development Board kind of knows about it. Okay? And
So-
sometimes our manager will serve as the manager of this group. Have you ever done that?
I'm sorry?
Have you served as the manager of this group yet?
No, the Far West Texas?
Yeah.
No, I'm a voting member, so second back Scott
Yeah.
Reinhardt from El
Yeah,
Paso.
you bad at Jake or something?
No. Oh, I hope they don't. But I remember that they, I think they put Chewy on that thing as the president for a year or whatever.
Years, yeah, it varies over
It
time. Scott Reinert's the president right now, and he's doing a great job.
Yes, he's
Can't
with
say
El Paso
anything.
Water.
Said let him do as long as he wants.
He's
That's
doing
the
a
idea.
wonderful job.
No, he's
Okay.
been very active, and yes, we just put a plan forth, there was a public hearing last month, April 24th, for the 5-year plan. So
Okay,
it's going well.
so, do you need approval on this?
Yes, I would do a resolution, please, and then we'll have that returned to them.
Or a resolution where we
Yes.
approve of this,
Motion, sure.
of this contract?
I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, Jared made the motion, Mike seconds, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign. Okey dokey,
All right, thank you.
under tab B.
So today, we've got scheduled our
In person.
5th farmers meeting, I think, for this 2025 irrigation season.
Okay,
It is in person, the previous ones have been on Zoom, so it will be held today here at 1 o'clock at the district to advise our constituents on the water situation for this year. But that's just
okay,
for your
Well, then-
information.
yeah. It's amazing to me that there'd be people that hadn't heard that. Josh, hadn't you been out there talking to people? Yeah, okay. So have I. All right. Next, district engineers report, you wanna go back down to Enrique? Or how you wanna do this?
No, I'll do mine.
Okay,
And then Enrique will correct me if I do anything. That's why Robert I work at.
that's the way, okay, good.
Well, and at some point, he may have to chime in, but I think this is similar enough to the previous. This is an update, this is what the presentation will be given today at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
You guys have seen this, some of you 5 times now.
Yeah.
It's, no, the numbers don't look any better, so sorry. Right now, so I'm gonna go through it pretty fast, because it's mainly, since you guys have all seen it, it's let's see if I can get it to advance, all right. All right, this one, you haven't seen this one before, I just put this in. So this is a satellite rendering of the snow, and the colors change with how much water is in the snow. So I just wanted to give a comparison that this is today on the left, and 2019 was a very good year, where water came in late from the snow melt, but we did ultimately start off with a fairly small allocation, I think less than 2 feet, but ended up with a full allocation by the end of the year. So you can see that what happened in 2019 is not going to happen this year. A big, huge difference between the two. It's a lot of snow in 2019, hardly any snow today.
Yeah. Very sad.
Yeah. You know, I always start with the answer for the public groups, so we're still for irrigation, small track 18 inches. We're target date for May 30 release. Water will arrive early in the morning on the 2nd, late at night on the 1st. We'll get it cleaned up, you know, it takes a few hours to get it up to speed and stuff, and we should be ready by sometime in the afternoon on the 2nd. Pushing water. Once we get it, everything stable at American Dam, it doesn't take long, right? And we're getting it down to Riverside. It takes a little bit longer to get it down to Tornillo, but we can get it through that American Canal pretty fast. And then we have been saying 75 days, where all indication is that we're gonna be super tight, guys.
Yeah.
So I'm backing off 5 days already on what we're able to do, but we get through the small tracks, and if we can go, we'll go longer, but, you know, once we run out of water, we run out of water, so. One of my big concerns we'll raise today that we hadn't probably enough, I didn't think we talked enough about, but it's more direction to do it. I mean, we totally really, but to really emphasize that, hey, if you wait till the last week to place an order, it almost have no chance of it being achieved. So towards the end of the season, you need to get your orders in as early as possible.
Yeah.
So to hold on to your water saying, hey, I'm gonna irrigate, you know, I'm gonna wait as long as possible to irrigate,
You might not have.
you won't be able to make we can't make it around, because at the end, if we have super, we're gonna run out of water before we can get.
Why that 70 days?
That's why I backed off 5 days on it.
Yeah, that leaves you August 10, somewhere in.
And we had said that last time, right?
Yeah.
We backed out our.
I think last time we said August 15, but August 10.
Well, we said we didn't know when we'd shut off.
There was a rain event a week ago up in Santa Fe, wasn't there? None of that made it?
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Oh, okay.
I guess not.
Yeah, if it was good news, I would have brought it up right away.
It just went to the ground, yeah.
So, this is, I haven't seen this before, guys. This is the first time, and I've been doing this for 34 years.
Can I get off the board until we get like a big flow?
So you got a full allocation.
Yeah, it's a thankless job right now.
Well, we could, if
They haven't heard us
Dave,
like
I hope,
that.
Yeah.
if you want me out of the far west Texas, well.
Hey, Jay's happy to nominate you.
Yeah. So, effectively been no change. I mean, at least the amount of water coming in is paying for the evaporation, but there's been no change in the, and the evaporation's is small now compared to what it's gonna be in July. But we got a lot of wind, which caused a lot of evaporation.
Al, to be clear, this is storage for just us or both districts?
No, this is in project storage.
Oh, boy. Well, I knew that, but I just wanted to hear you say it. I was.
No, yeah, we would be 4
We'd be
feet if
ecstatic,
this is
yeah.
ours, yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is water and storage, you gotta get it out
Right.
of the storage down to us, that's a problem too. So this, getting from here to ours is a complicated process, but we've got those, we'll show you those tables in there. So this is, again, there's a lot of noise in this measurement. This is reclamation's basically on their water level gauge that's up at Elephant Butte, but it after, especially gets, as the reservoir gets smaller, this gets a little more scattered to it, but we look at long-term trends, we can measure that. So that's what the graph is in the middle. So there is inflow coming into the system, but they've been transferring a little bit of positive inflow down to Caballo, so that's going through that system. So there's a little bit more than evaporation. I shouldn't have said just evaporation, but it's not great. Again, this chart is a little bit old, but it's from macro allocation. But to remember, this is where we are. It hasn't changed any, so the chart's still accurate. And so that information there, you can compare that to what on the previous years. You can see, hey, maybe we got a lot of water came in, like back in 2019 that we just talked about. Well, after, this is what was in storage, but a lot of water came in during the summer. We don't expect that this year. We hope we can just get this amount of water out of the reservoir. And so we don't expect there's no saving grace here that's gonna come down short of a hurricane stagnating up north. And they've got about 1 in 40, 1 in 50 chance of that. It's like we look, but
So you're saying there's a chance, is what you're getting at.
yeah. Here's a snow melt started this year, started early. I mean, look at it. We did get a little bounce back last week during that event you talked about when you guys were up.
Yep.
And then it got cold up there, and we did get a little more snow. It's melted again today. And you guys see this one. I'll explain this to any newcomers we have, that we look for paths to get out of this. There are no paths to get out of this. This is quite a few years since 1986. So basically 40 years, and looking at 40 years of information, there isn't even that 2% chance that it doesn't show up in those 40 years.
Well, you can't say it's better in 2002. You might want to point out 2002.
We had a lot
We got
more
this
water.
drought-
We had a
got
lot more
this
water in
drought
the
started.
reservoir in
But
2002.
see-
So the inflow in 2002 was less.
But look at that, in 2002,
Yeah.
at least it's better now.
Right,
Trying to
but
give you a little bit of.
But this is just one part of the equation. We go back and look at 2002, we had almost a full reservoir, or we had at least half full.
Yeah, it was a very full reservoir.
And so we got into 2003, it was a drought year, that's when we drilled the wells. So it was a problem, we had a lot more water going into it, and the system was very wet in 2002, so that was our wake-up call. So now, even though we're above 2002, we're in a worse situation. 2013 was the drought record. We're better than 2013, right? This is looking at all the gauges in another pack. They look very much like Wolf Creek. That's why we use Wolf Creek, as it emulates this one. All the gauges. This is all 3 basins. We get most of our water out of Chama, and you can see it's worse than the upper Rio Grande. So that's disappointing, and most of the snow's already melted there, very little left. We get a little water out of San Gabriel Cristo, but it looks poor too. So all 3 basins look poor. They all look like Wolf Creek does. Here's the numbers, what's left that hasn't melted, 24%, 13 in Chama, as I was telling you, everything's already melted in Chama, and then there's some new snow that made it go up. But when you see those numbers go up like to 43%, there's not much there. I mean, there's not much, we don't get much water out of San Gabriel de Cristo, so 43% of a small number is still a small number. This is what I hope will look a little better. So the snow melt's coming in out of the Chama. You can see it melted out of Chama, so it's hitting the Rio Grande at Ottawa, which generates our requirement under the compact. It just happened, but you can see that gap between the floodway and the advanced channel, and Ottawa is the water being consumed in New Mexico upstream. A little bit of loss on the river, but then most of it's irrigation consumption. We hope to see a little bit of that stuff above 1,000 make it through, but I'm not counting on it right now. So we'll just keep following up with this graph every week, or every month to get to see it. So we're hoping someone will make it past it. Right now, it's all being diverted for irrigation. or not all of it, a little bit's getting through.
Yeah. Preparing for next lawsuit.
You know, that there's a complex set of equations in the compact that says what they have to deliver and what they don't, so,
Cause that triggers that stuff up, we should get some of that.
yeah, but they don't do that, they won't do that accounting until next March, next year.
Oh, boy.
It's always in arrears.
1 year.
They are negative, they do have, I mean, I assume they announced it at your meeting, do you guys remember what they said their final number was on their debit? What was it?
I don't have it on that, but it was in the,
Anyways,
It was what?
it was in the.
in excess of 100,000.
100,000 plus, right?
Yeah, but I thought you might remember, so, this is NRCS, which, one thing good about NRCS forecast is that, you know, it's forecasting a 50% chance of no water.
Zero.
We already have 0, but that's already, I just showed you, we got water, so
we
we
got-
already know this forecast is wrong, it's over, it's too conservative. So they've got a little water, but not much.
Yeah, you said, I think, 1,000 acre feet, that's, yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a little more in Caballo than that, so if you look at them both, but it's not a whole lot of water, right?
Ooh,
There's the answer to your question. Did we get, yeah, it rained up there, but it didn't change. Yeah,
Wow.
it didn't change.
that is just really amazing.
This is basically a satellite prepared thing on soil moisture. It's looking at the soil and the vegetative, how wet it is, and it looks at the rainfall too. It's got a lot of different parameters going to Palmer hydroelectric drought index, but the modern version of it relies a little, I think, too heavily on satellite information, but that's right now it's saying that our watershed is really dry. That little bit up there at the top, the rooster head, sort of speaking, up here.
Yeah, the fox head or the big.
Yeah, fox head, whatever it is showing,
About normal is what it
yeah, it's
is.
about normal there, so they're getting better moisture up in Colorado than we are. But down here, man, Arizona looks pretty bad, doesn't it?
Yeah, the entire state.
Yeah, total.
I
So,
don't think I've ever seen that now.
yeah, I don't think I have either on the whole, nothing up at the Kaibab or any of that high elevation.
And look at Utah, same thing, I mean, almost.
Almost the whole thing, but they got some, not too, but it's, even California's, it's got wet parts there, it's just the water's just going north. This looks a little better, but these not, it says we're gonna be equal chances. Last month you saw it, we were below on both of these, and so, so a little bit above on precipitation maybe in some parts of the Colorado up here, but not much. And then temperature, yeah, you guys we're the coolest spot of Texas right now. I mean, I looked at Laredo, guys, do you see that forecast?
No, I saw
20 days of
I saw
107 plus.
Austin was 105 or 107, something like that.
Yeah. It breaks in Austin, a little bit in San Antonio, but down at Laredo, it just, they're not gonna stay in
San
that.
Antonio, Austin, when they had those 100 degrees.
That's, I tell people to go to El Paso to get away from the heat.
I know.
So,
All right.
that's it. This is the, how do we get from the reservoir to here? And so it's a complicated calculation that I worked with Enrique on, a lot of the numbers going in here and contractual amounts. One of the numbers that we did, Jim, I hadn't updated this for, but we've got the water to do it with. We got a final negotiated number on that last part. Oops, excuse me, right there. So that number's gone up a little bit. I'll talk to you about that. That's under item 11, so I'll wait till after Pete and everybody talks. But that's where we look at everything, and our numbers haven't changed for this. This is how we got to the very end. I do have, we have 12,000, 13,000 reserved for excess. It's not really excess, it's water we'll be using for river losses at the very end. That's what determines how much that loss is, really is gonna determine how long we can run on doing it and before we run out of water. If that loss is higher than that, we'll have to shut off early. So that's why everybody, their last irrigation or the second irrigation for some people, really need to get that information in and request it as quick as possible so we can get that water down here and get it out to you guys before we run out. I know that will put a bigger pull on it, but the less days we're on the river, less water we lose. So, all right.
What are those two blanks out? up the valley and then the left line.
Oh, wait, I don't have any current charges now yet. We haven't started the season.
Oh.
So this table has,
Is using what?
we run this every day.
Yeah. Oh,
So as we deliver water, there'll be less water in the reservoir because we drained it out and we delivered it. It's all net an obligation. I look at my residual obligation. Just think of it as a combined checking savings account. So the savings account's up in the reservoir and you guys are writing checks now. So, and we try to see how many checks you can write. I know Renee hates it when I do those money analogies, but they're pretty simple. I'm doing it. You got a comment, Renee?
Well, I've learned to live with it.
He's learned to put up with me, yeah.
Yeah.
He still complains. So again, we're down to 70 days now. We're looking at, maybe it'll stay cool and maybe it'll rain a little.
Maybe we'll get some monsoon.
Yeah, you know, all that stuff helps. If we get some monsoon, not
Yeah,
just,
it
I mean,
helps.
not putting more water in the reservoir per se, but it makes it easier for us to deliver the water.
Sure.
Makes a big difference.
Sure.
If we can have one.
Sure does.
So, it's surprising how big of a difference it makes. Just a couple inches of rain at the right time, towards the end of the season.
Yep.
That's it.
All right,
That's for 1 o'clock today.
okay, we'll do that again at 1 o'clock.
And then Enrique can correct me if it's his turn. Tell me what I said wrong.
All right, Enrique, you're up.
Thanks, Al.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, you wearing your flak jacket yet? Don't get it, right?
I need to get one.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I need to correct Dr. Blair, so same news. Just a little bit of history again, still going back to 2023, just to compare. With the return flow, currently we have irrigated 21,300 acres, and versus 2023 was 22,900. So we're about 7% less in 2023, so we're slowly catching up. And right now, we're currently in halfway point of the second round, per se, of the 2 inches. We may be able to do a third round, but more than likely, we're not. We probably won't get to a third one. Most of those acres are in, but they'll probably fall into the release. So we're currently, right now, we have 11,500 acres, which half of that is for the June release. Most of it.
People ordering for the
June.
allocated water.
For the allocation, yes. And right now, currently, I'm still down 1 employee. I'm trying to do some interviews so I can hire. And unfortunately, this morning, I lost another ditch rider. So I'm having to ask for help from Pete. So he's lending me some of his maintenance guys that know how to run water, so we can train some new guys.
Is Pete gonna be in the 8A truck?
I'm game. If we have to, we'll get on there. Yes, but, yeah, we're in the process of hiring another 2 additional ditch riders, so new ditch riders. So right now, we'll have about 5 to 6 new ditch riders that we have to train this season. And it'll be a short season, so we won't finish training.
It's gonna be hard to train for that, yeah.
Yes. Other than that, that's all I got
Okay.
for water.
Well, we wish you luck with those new trainees, so.
Yes.
All right, thank you, appreciate it.
Thanks, Enrique.
Doing good with what you got. And Pete,
Morning.
good morning.
Let me start off with, just kind of give you guys some information. I'm pretty sure you guys are aware of it, but we had 5 wells that were vandalized. There was approximately between 2,000, 2,500 gallons of fuel stolen.
You're kidding.
No, sir. This happened back in April the 21st.
What part of the valley?
They started off right there back where the utility trailer is at, where the head of the Salitral is at.
Yeah.
They hit 4 wells in that area, and then they hit 1 well right here by Eats Farms. That was the last one. So we did check out these wells, and apparently they're getting under the cages, and they were running a water hose into the tank
Siphoning.
and siphoning it out, yes. Luckily, our ditch rider was out there doing his runs, and he spotted the guys there at the Salitral. This is at 7 o'clock in the morning. So he was able to take some pictures of the truck. As soon as they saw him, they covered their faces and they drove off. But we did file a report with Socorro PD and out here with the Sheriff's Department. And this weekend on Mother's Day, they were caught. They spotted the truck, same ditch rider that caught him, spotted the truck in Sanelli, and so the guy was arrested.
Oh, good.
And apparently he's linked to some other thefts.
Wow.
So we'll see if we get some kind of compensation for everything that was lost.
There's not locks on the top cap?
Yeah, there's,
We got those.
we got cages over the top with expanded metal,
Uh-huh.
but they were prying it up and sticking the hose under there. I mean, it took them,
Mhm.
I'm thinking they were at it probably all weekend. We caught them on, or he caught them on Monday. And to steal 2,000 gallons with a water hose, I mean, it takes some time. So apparently they did a couple of runs.
Don't they have those new cameras that are solar powered that can, and even just the sign is a deterrent?
Game
This-
cameras, yeah.
Huh?
Game-
Yeah, kinda like
Game
that.
cameras.
We have game cameras on all our wells, and
They got stolen.
no, well, a couple of them did. A couple of them did. But no, we removed them because we hadn't had any theft in,
Yeah.
what, 20 years? You know, since the last one. So we were good until this past weekend, or this, the 21st of.
Well, sometimes the little sign does more than the camera, because they don't know where the camera is, but the sign is there.
Right.
This is under surveillance.
So what I'm doing now, I did order some flat plate, and I'm gonna remove the, or actually I'm gonna weld the flat plate over the expanded metal to kind of deter where they can't see inside the area where the tank is at, or where we pump it in. And then we're also securing them a little bit more to try to avoid this from happening again. So you're gonna see my welding guy out there doing some of this work. And
The new cameras are pretty amazing, so we can
Yes.
talk about, they're not very expensive either.
No.
so.
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm looking into buying at least 60 cameras to
Yeah, those
install them on
game-
all our wells.
Even the game cameras you're talking about are a lot better than they used to be.
Yeah, these are
Yes.
security cameras now,
Security.
instead of the game ones, they're solar powered, that,
Yeah.
they're not gonna go, what gets expensive is put them on cellular service, but we put them on, when you drive up in the truck, you can access them
Yeah,
and
okay.
download the pictures. In other words, if you have an event, you can go pull all the pictures from it by just driving your truck up to it, so I've been pretty impressed with them, so we may, I will get with you. and we'll
Okay.
see the ones- I've had them out for about a year now.
And some of them have a motion sensor light.
Yeah, they have a whole sensor, lights come on if you want them to, they're pretty sophisticated, man. And the price has been really good,
Yeah.
so I'll show.
So do
But
you
you
want
put them
to
up high on a pole, so you can't get to them, they can't get to them, which makes, that's why they have a built-in Wi-Fi, so you drive up and connect to it. And
Sorry, I
download the
forgot to
picture. They don't go to the internet. You can, but then we have to start paying
Yeah, you gotta
cellular
pay
phone
somebody.
fees,
Yeah.
and there's all sorts of problems. But at least then if you have an event or something, that's how I've been using them, if there's something happens, then you can pull the pictures of them.
And it'll be a lot cheaper than getting hit again, you know,
Yeah.
because I'm estimating that we lost anywhere between $7,000 and $7,500
That-
at $3 a gallon. So,
Yeah.
you know, and again, that's just an estimate.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to see what the guy looks like, just get on Facebook. He's all over Facebook.
Yeah, so yeah.
Okay, with that said, my presentation will be short. I know we got a long day, so this first slide is on the Montoya drain, or part of the maintenance program that we got with the city of El Paso. See a before and after picture. I'll go through them pretty quick. I know you guys are probably tired of seeing the same thing. East drain, before, after, pavements,
Is it working? Yeah.
before drain. This is the vent and cutoff. I was having a hard time trying to make out what it was, but it's the vent cutoff up there by Vinton alongside the levee. And you can see there's that piece of property on the right-hand side, that's part of a PSD property. So with these sandstorms that we've been having, it covered the ditch almost to the top.
Oh,
Okay.
So here we dug it out, we're going, and we're gonna start widening this ditch a little bit, and rebuilding these banks to where we can go in there and clean them a lot easier, because, this other way, the only way you can clean them is by manpower.
yeah, that was a concrete ditch.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, it was filled in.
Part-
supposedly concrete ditch,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's in very bad shape.
Yeah.
Then this is the Canutillo lateral, where we're removing sand that we had dug out. Same thing here. I've had all the trucks up there now for about 2 weeks, and we still got at least another 2 weeks of work to clear out this Canutillo lateral. This is just right by the heading up to Bosque Park. So we're running all this, all our trucks up there, and that's what it's looking like after we're getting done. So we're removing the stockpiles that were left inside, and then we're continuing downstream. Same thing, this is La Union East, this is over by, right before you get to Borderland. And same thing here, we dug out the channel, we're removing this dirt. This dirt is good dirt, so we're using this dirt on part of our banks that we need to work on. But we're also working on La Union East. Here, we still have to go out there and remove all the stockpiles that we put on the side, but I can do that with water in the system. Right now, I'm just trying to get this channel cleared. And then part of our mowing program, this is up there by Wasteway 35. Where we had some complaints, we had a whole bunch of bamboo inside this Wasteway 35 all the way to the levee. We are finished with this one also. And on this one here, I'm gonna get with EPCWID because I really think that this is part of their responsibility and this is ours. This is the Isla Lateral right here down the street on North Loop, before and after picture. Salitral. Franklin Canal. All our mowers are out already on the ditch banks. All 8 mowers. This is up there in the 341 where we're having to do some bank repairs, raising banks and leveling banks. Fresno in the island Main, 206. And then this is up there by the Willows. This project's also been going on for 2 weeks, and this is also part of the drain maintenance program. So we had a lot of complaints in this area here, so we cleared it up. I'm gonna say about 90% complete. And then we mulch everything, and then we use that on top of our banks to try to use it as a little bit of dust control. Now this is the hanging tree here in Sanedi, right behind the old jail. So this tree years ago was told, do not touch it, it's protected. Well, they ain't gonna be hanging anything from this tree anymore.
No.
As you can see, it uprooted. Unfortunately, it fell straight into the Sanedi Main. So we have gone in there, we have removed it. I've contacted the county, I've contacted the town of Sanedi. So they are aware that, it wasn't us that knocked it down. Mother Nature knocked it down.
It's tall and hollow.
Yeah, it was an old cottonwood, I think it was.
So we probably need to send those pictures to the historical commission, because that tree was actually in our contract.
Okay, and I got plenty of pictures of it.
Okay.
And I did make contact with them on the county, Norma Palacios gave me some numbers, so I did make contact with them.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's all right. I mean,
It's-
what are you gonna do?
Right, exactly. Then we are getting prepared for the water, of course. This is on the riverside, so we are cleaning out our system already. Before and after. Here's our famous George Pignon doing some leg work. And then we are still installing some dust abatement gates. People, these dust abatement gates are very popular now. In fact, right now I've got a gentleman that came in and paid for an additional 2 here in the Denton area. These ATVs and UTVs have been a major problem for us. I do have the three maintenance repairmen working on turnouts. This is a turnout on the Hanson. Here, this is a major problem because it's so close to the check that it's always catching trash. But I've already come up with a solution to take care of this. So hopefully we can get it done before water season gets us.
Why don't you keep it clean?
Same thing, this is over by Fox Plaza. So right now, we're concentrating on everything on the Franklin, Riverside, O'Neill, Hanson, the ditches that have water about 90% of the time. This is an old culvert that was on the Barrial that I've left it for about 3 years. I blocked it off, looked for people to take ownership of it. Nobody wants to be responsible for it, so we yanked everything out and we let the open channel. This is also the Barrial, also some of the extensions that we're doing on some of these turnouts that are, the bank is too narrow, so we're putting extensions on them to make it safer for our equipment and our ditch runners out there. And then this is the check that was rebuilt on the Montoya Branch A, just upstream from Country Club. The existing check that was there was about 18 inches too high. So we demolished that one, and this one here, we dropped it the 18 inches to cover the elevations of the shotcrete that's coming behind it. So that's been poured already. Today they'll be removing forms and installing all the hardware on it. Then the shotcrete. These are a couple of pictures above the check. So we'll valve into the existing.
Good looking work.
Come a long way, Pete.
Yeah, they sure have. These guys are good. And then this is the section below the check. You can see Country Club right there at the lights. So we are working on this section now. We will be completed with the shotcrete today. So by today, this project will be completed. We'll have to go back tomorrow just to kind of clean up, remove all the forms, and just finish up any kind of anything we might have missed. And that's all I got. So again, I really stress that if you guys got some turnouts and need attention, please let me know. That way we can address them before the water gets here.
I'm getting close to letting you know, but I haven't.
Okay, thank you.
Gotta make sure that.
Thanks, Bill.
Okay, let me get that first. All right, Pete, thank you very much.
She's next on this. Yeah, we need there's one more water allocation we gotta do that we didn't do last time,
Okay,
under 11.
number 11, it says water delivery allocation. Go ahead.
We have to do we haven't got it negotiated, but Jana got it negotiated,
For the tax rate.
it's for, one of the tag one, it's a 2001 contract, section 9B. The amount of the city agreed to, that's the higher price water, that I believe it's on one that's adjusted each year by the consumer price index. So the amount that I recommend and they agreed to is 5,668 acre feet. So it's actually 67.78. I don't know why they keep it so accurate, but it's roughly $2 million.
That's why we keep it so accurate.
That's why we keep it so accurate. It runs the 2 decimal places, everything else we round off to make it.
So it's a change to that contract, you need a.
It's not a change, it's an allocation under that contract. We've been negotiating with the city each year to make sure, because of the timing in these drought years, they can only run their plant 70 days, but it does appear they can use this water, and they agreed to it. And it's actually complies with exactly the number that's in the contract that says it, but it is a negotiated number,
Okay.
so it's good. It's a lot better than zero.
Yeah, no, a lot better. It's informational now, or we don't?
No, you need to pass a
We need to take
resolution.
action.
You're making under the 2001 contract, section 9B,
Making
the
it
allocation
change.
is 5,667.78 for this year.
Okay. So we need to make a resolution that uses that number as the allocation to the city. Right. All right. Anybody want to make that motion?
I'll be-
Sure they do. Thank you, Mayor.
Anybody want a second?
Anybody want a second?
Sure, second.
Yeah, Mike second. All right. We are going to get the section 9B of the 2001 contract, right?
Right.
The allocation this year is going to be 5,667.78 acre feet.
That's it.
And that's the change we're doing, and that's what we're doing in this resolution.
Right.
Okay. Just want to make sure that's what the motion was you made there. You're right, right?
Yeah, I knew that.
You knew that, okay,
I wrote it down, I gave it.
correct. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign. Motion passed. All right. Very good. Looks like now we're at Sharon, aren't we? Yeah. Sharon, are you ready to do some of that?
Yes.
Anybody want to break real quick? What time is it? 10 o'clock started?
We're gonna move a lot of these to closed session, so we probably do.
We just do, 12, and then we're gonna request to move 13
Close it. All right.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and do the 12. There's 3 applications there. Go ahead.
Okay, so application 3574 is by Bowling Brothers Development for Horizon Park, Unit 1 replat. This is off of Horizon Boulevard. The licensing has reviewed this application and recommended for approval.
Move to approve.
All right. Mike made the motion to approve. Jared second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign.
Application number B, application 3591 by Roberto Gardea for the Gardea subdivision. This subdivision is in the Upper Valley off of Country Club Road. Licensing has reviewed this application and recommends it for approval.
I'll make a motion.
All right. Larry made the motion.
Second.
Mike second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, same sign. Okay, application 3593.
3593 by Tony Reed. This is for the Jeff Jones subdivision. This is off of Jeff Jones Drive. Licensing has reviewed this application and recommends it for approval.
Okay. Jared made the motion. Who seconded it?
I'll second it.
I think it was Larry seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign. Okay. Next, 13. Anybody want a little break? Everybody okay?
These are close.
Item 13, we're gonna recommend that they discuss
Yeah, nearly everything in there?
everything.
Woo. Okay, in that case, there is gonna be a 5-minute break. All right, we're gonna take a 5-minute break.